Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we have a very fun little project. I am going to be planting two different kinds of shrubs that are a little bit on the extremes of my growing zone. If you will remember, we are North Carolina, a zone 7B. I am going to be planting two elderberries and a camellia, all in the same flower bed. So the elderberries, we may be a little too warm for it, and the camellia, we may be a little too cold for it. I'm all about experimenting. That is gardening, right? It is just try it, because you may never know, you may have fantastic results. So we're going to do that today. We also, you might hear some hum in the background. There is a lot of stuff going on today, as always, here at the nursery. So Josh and Roman are getting some aeration and some grass seed out. So let's see if we can flip it around here so that you can see. I am down in the front field. That is where we're going to be planting. And let's see, maybe you can see Roman is in the yard, and then Josh is running back and forth with the aerator, and it has the seeder on the front. Roman is putting out some fertilizer. So you will probably hear that all going on. And then I don't know if you can see that little pocket of yellow up there. Those are the violas, and they are just so happy and so cheery. And then I do have my main man, my main squeeze, old Jer. He is helping me do some filming today. So where are we gonna plant these beautiful new shrubs? Well, I'm so glad you asked, let me tell you. So if you will remember, not too terribly long ago, maybe a month or so ago, we were here and we planted a Tough Stuff hydrangea in this unique stone urn. So we're going to be planting these shrubs right here along to the left of that. Now I know you're going to tell me something. I know Tough Stuff's a little dry. We have been in some major drought. She has been well watered. She'll bounce back here in just a second. But what we're going to do is I have two of the lemony lace elderberries from Proven Winners. If you remember that video where we talked about how Spring Meadows sent us some great shrubs, so we're going to put the two elderberries here. I was just telling Jerry I need something with a big kind of a pop of color, so these are just gorgeous. Obviously lemony lace has a really heavily dissected leaf on it, beautiful lime green chartreuse color to it. And these will get some nice size. They can get 4 to 7 feet tall and wide. I'm thinking because we are on the borderline of being a little too warm, it may be on the smaller side. I don't know. It's going to be a whole experiment. So I have spaced them 4 feet apart from each other. So they're going to go basically here. Of course, I will use my biotone, and I have some land and sea. We'll use my handy dandy power planter auger to get those in. And then I am so excited about this plant. This is a camellia, believe it or not. This is not your typical camellia. This is called snowbells. I got this back in the early spring with my mom when we went to go visit Camellia Forest. And Camellia Forest is a nursery here in North Carolina that specializes in camellias. It was not a good thing in the fact of we took my Suburban, and two gardeners who love camellias and had decided that we needed more camellias in our life. Let's just say that Suburban was loaded with camellias. Snowbells is a really fun one. It is a handle-eye camellia. So it's not a sasanqua, it's not a japonica, completely different than what we are used to. It's really fun because it has almost a weeping effect to it. You can see where the arches, the limbs are arching out, and it has very, very small leaves on it. Look at that, very small. And then the new leaves are almost kind of a burgundy. Let's see, I was looking at some earlier. They have a little bit of a reddish hue to them, if you can kind of see that a little bit. Hopefully the camera will pick that up. But this is a really fun camellia because it will bloom in late winter into early spring, and the blooms start out a very soft pink and then turn to white. Not your typical bloom on a camellia that you're thinking of. There will be smaller, but they will be mass in number. So it will be covered. It was actually blooming when we bought it, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have noticed it, but it was just gorgeous. And the blooms start at the base of the stem and then work their way up. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. Super excited about this. We are going to be a little bit more on the zone of our winters being too cold. So I'll have to kind of pay attention. It is going to be down here on the creek bank underneath these trees, so hopefully it will be nice and protected. But this is going to be really fun. Cannot wait to get these 3 shrubs in the ground, because it's going to make a huge difference in these beds as we are going to develop these beds along the creek this winter. We want to come down and extend. This is going to be a long-term project, but it's just a great way to continue to extend the flower bed, because last year, remember, we installed all of the lime lights and the Carolina cypress and Carolina sapphire, and then the butterfly bushes and everything. So we're just bringing it all down. We are on the outer rims. I don't know if you can see it with the sky, but the clouds, can you see that line of where the clouds are and then the blue sky? Those are the remnants, or rather not the remnants, the outer bands of Hurricane Ian. So today is Wednesday that we're filming this. Ian is expected to hit us as far as like some wind and rain starting Thursday night, Friday. So it is just now started. I don't even know if this has made landfall in Florida. But that's the thing about hurricanes. They're massive and they just extend just, hundreds of miles. So we're already starting to see the cloud cover from that. But while hurricanes are awful and they are scary, we all lived through Hugo. Jerry and I lived through Hugo, so we know what a hurricane is like, and it's awful. And so we are praying for those people who are in the path of this hurricane. For us, we don't think it's going to be so bad, but we're going to get probably wind and rain. The rain will be good. I'm just hoping we can get some gentle rain and not traditional hurricane rain. But we are very, very dry. So it's actually a good time to get these in the ground, so that way when the rains do come, that it'll get nice and settled in, because this is not on irrigation. So I feel like I've talked too much. We're going to get these sweet things in the ground. It's going to make a huge transformation right here. Alrighty, my friends, so all 3 of these shrubs have found their way into their new home nice and snug. I will tell you that, again, I think I said this earlier, we have not had any significant rain in quite a while. And yeah, even with the power planter, auging those holes was quite a challenge. Mr. Muscles had to step in a couple of times and help me out, but they are done. So let's talk about why I chose to plant these 3 shrubs in this specific location, because we didn't talk about that earlier. The elderberries are, their hardiness zones is like from 4 to a 7. We are a 7B, but they are considered like a full sun plant. If I were to put them in like my true full sun, they would be fried in like 5 minutes. So this area will get that 5 to 6 hours of great morning sun, so it will fulfill that full sun requirement. But then when the sun begins to move behind the trees, they will be nice and shaded. So they will get a break from that hot afternoon sun. Therefore, that is why I think this is going to be the best location for them, because if they're going to succeed in our you know, North Carolina, hot, humid, zone 7B, they're gonna have to have a break from our hot afternoon sun. That is why we put them here. Now on the flip side, why did I put the camellia here? Well, we are on the zone for the camellia being a little too cold because it's from like a zone 7B to the 10B, I believe. So we are right on that line. And this camellia is not gonna be a full sun camellia. It is a filtered sun to a like part sun, part shade area. Again, it will get great morning sun, but it gets a break from the hot afternoon sun. We raise those camellias up because they like really well draining soil. So you may have noticed that I was adding some the aged pine bark fines to the hole so that way it drains really well. This is right along the creek bank, and so if we get huge gully washers, the water does run here, but it doesn't sit. It is very well draining. The soil here is actually pretty sandy, which is rare for us. And so she is gonna do really well right here. Top dressed everybody with a little bit of land and seed compost. That great, you know, it's that slowly amending your soil to bring in those good nutrients, that good bacteria, all of that good healthy ecosystem that we want for our roots. We did have to remove a dead tree here. My mom and dad came down the other day and helped me. Well, they did it. They were helping me by getting the tree out of here. And so there was one that, because we knew we were going to plant these plants here, and it made sense to cut the tree down before we put the plants in. So they got that done for me. We do have an oak tree right here that has some limbs that are really kind of overreaching. I may wait and see what it looks like in the spring and the summer. If they're not getting enough sun, we can easily limb those tree branches off. But when you're looking at your sun conditions, just keep in mind that your winter sun, which is what I am going into, is very different than your summer sun. We're going to be most concerned here with our summer sun because that's really, really hot. But super excited to watch all these sweet things grow and develop. The snowbells, camellia, the lemony lace, elderberry, they're all going to bring lots of fun and interest and texture to this place. And of course, we will continue to add some plants in here and there, and as we move our way down, we'll have some more fun adding more shrubs and perennials in this space. So as always, we so appreciate you. Thank you for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.